As the years continue on with this decade, new beginnings, unthinkable journeys, more life experiences and memories added, everybody ages one more year. Many NBA legends from the 60s passing away the last few years, icons and legends are always remembered for their contributions and impact to this world. Life is what you make out of it. Even long after certain all-time greats pass, they'll still be talked about decades from now, our future great-grandkids, setting the standards for continued excellence, even more respected over time. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Here are the former NBA players who passed away in 2022. Starting with Gene Shu, former point guard in the 50s and 60s, highly remembered as both a player, a coach, and executive, picked third in the 54 draft. At 6'2", played 6 seasons with the Pistons, also time with the Knicks, Bullets, and Warriors. The 5-time All-Star posted averages of 14.4 points, 4.1 rebounds, 3.7 assists, average over 22 a game in 60 and 61. A great shooter ahead of his time, transitioned as a head coach with the Bullets, Sixers, and Clippers, led the 71 Bullets and 77 Sixers to the finals, 2-time Coach of the Year winner, developed a reputation for helping bad teams quickly become competitive. Last year coaching 1989, also a GM and a scout for the Sixers, Shu died April 3rd at his home in Marina del Rey at age 90 from skin cancer. John Drew of the Atlanta Hawks, the 6'6" forward started his career in the 74-75 season, one of the more underrated scorers in the 70s, the 2-time All-Star, averaged over 20 points in 6 of his 11 seasons, career numbers of 20.7 points, 6.9 rebounds, very aggressive, known for drawing lots of fouls, 7.8 free throw attempts in 739 career games, one of the best career debuts, 32 points his very first NBA game, traded to Utah before the 83 season for number 3 pick Dominique Wilkins, also highly remembered for being an all-star starter in 1980, even receiving more votes than rookie Larry Bird, played till 1985, but battled cocaine addiction, missed 38 games in 83, spent time in rehab, finished runner-up for Comeback Player of the Year in 84, an award that no longer exists, became the first player banned from the NBA by Commissioner David Stern in 1986, ran in trouble with the law, worked as a taxi driver in Houston his later years. Drew passed away April 10th in Houston at 67 before suffering from stage 4 bone cancer. Wayne Cooper, the 6'10" center remembered for his dates with the Nuggets, 2 stints with the Blazers, spent his first 2 seasons with the Warriors, then a year in Utah and Dallas, the starting big for the 85 Nuggets team that got to the conference finals alongside Alex English, traded there alongside Calvin Nat and Fat Lever for scoring small forward Kiki Vandeweghe, a solid defender, very nimble, averaged over 2 rejections for 4 seasons, became a deep in the bench guy his last 3 seasons with Portland. 2 of those teams made the finals led by Clyde Drexler, played till 35, a 14-year NBA career, worked in the front office for 2 years for Portland, then Sacramento's front office, served as VP of basketball operations from 96 to 2013, passed away April 11, suffered from kidney disease, he was 65. Adrian Payne, way too young, the former Michigan State standout, picked 15 overall 2014 draft, spent 4 seasons in the NBA, averaged 4-3, 107 total games, played for Atlanta, Minnesota, and Orlando, a 6'10" power forward, collegiate teammates with Draymond Green his first 2 seasons, played overseas after parting ways February 2022, tragic ending, May 9th in an attempt to prevent a domestic violence dispute, Payne was shot and killed, truly sad story. Something he wasn't even involved in, simply being at the wrong place, wrong time, dragged into a dangerous situation. He was only 31. Here's some of Draymond's thoughts on his former teammate.
Adrian was harmless. He was an incredible person. He cared about people more than he cared about himself. And when I say harmless, he lost his life wanting to help someone.
Bob Lanier, the 6'11" center, one of the best players for his time, 8-time All-Star out of St. Bonaventure, played 14 seasons in the NBA, career averages of over 20 and 10, 9.5 seasons with the Pistons, before spending the latter part of his career with Milwaukee. Former number 1 pick in 1970, played through injuries throughout his career. A deadly hook shot, good mid-range shooter, remembered for his massive size 22 feet, played in arguably the best big man era, the likes of Kareem Jabbar, Dave Cowens, Willis Reed, Old Wilt, Nate Thurman, Wes Unseld, Dan Izzo, the list goes on. One of the best players all time to never make an All-NBA team, highly respected by his peers, made it to the conference finals his final 2 seasons, served as Golden State's assistant and interim coach for the 95 season, an NBA Cares global ambassador, an incredible story when he was playing in Milwaukee and getting gas. A guy came up to him and said, his dad is sick and you're his favorite player. Could you come up to the house and say hello to him? The house right next door. Bob went upstairs. The old father laying there in bed had a little smile, grabbed Bob's hand and squeezed it, said a little prayer. Later, the son's father died, left a card at the Bucks front office saying thank you for making one of my dad's final days into a good one. Lanier passed away May 10th after a short illness. He was 73. Lenny Rosenbluth, the 6'4" small forward, played 2 seasons in the association for the Philadelphia Warriors, 58 and 59, career 4.2 point average out of UNC, most remembered in college for beating Wilt Chamberlain's Kansas team in triple overtime for the 57 title, responsible for bringing UNC basketball to prominence, ended up teaching history and coach high school ball in Florida for around 35 years. The New York native passed away June 18th, he was 89. Lucia Harris, although she never actually played a game in the NBA or professional men's basketball, Harris became the first and only woman ever officially drafted by the NBA in 1977, 20 years before the existence of the WNBA's first season. Remembered as one of the first pioneers of women's basketball, inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame, had a film about her called The Queen of Basketball. Shaq and Steph Curry, one of the executive producers. Forever a trailblazer, the 6'3" center also scored the first points in women's basketball history at the Olympics. Harris passed away January 18th at 66. Lucius Brown Jackson, known as Luke Jackson, the 6'9" power forward drafted as the 4th pick in the 64 draft, spent all 8 seasons in Philadelphia, averaged nearly 10 and 8 in 522 career games, an all-star as a rookie, putting up 15 and 13. His first season, Chamberlain traded to his Sixers, best remembered as being a starter for the 67 title team that ended Boston's 8-year title run. A memorable 13.21 rebound title clinching game over the Warriors, the 67 finals. Married to his wife for 57 years before passing, recalled the story Big Will referred to Jackson as one of the most powerful men he played with. Following Luke's NBA career, served 25 years at Beaumont's Park and recreational director before retiring. Jackson passed away from heart failure in Houston, Texas, October 12, age 80. Greg Lee, the 6'3" point guard, played just 5 games in the ABA, 5 in the NBA, averaged 2.4 points, 2.4 assists with San Diego, then Portland, starting point guard for the 72 and 73 UCLA title teams, transitioned to playing professional beach volleyball after, lived in San Diego following his athletic career, died September 21st, suffered an infection linked to an immune disorder. He was 70. Caleb Swanigan, incredibly sad, the former 26th pick of the 2017 draft, spent 3 seasons in the league after 2 seasons at Purdue. The 6'9" power forward, what appeared like he was on top of the world from making the NBA, coming from an extremely difficult childhood background, homeless at times, weighed over 360 before 8th grade, earned a reputation as a tenacious rebounder in college, lost all that weight, but his NBA career did not take off. Charged with misdemeanor afterwards, had a viral photo that went around showing his massive weight gain in just months. His family also had a history battling obesity. Died 7 months later, June 20th, the result listed as natural causes. Willie Norwood, the 6'7" power forward drafted by the Pistons, 4.5 seasons with the team, career numbers of 7.5 points, former teammates of Bob Lanier, 7 total NBA seasons, 2 with the Sonics, and 19 games with the Blazers. His presence was felt in Detroit after his playing days as a mentor to the youth and serving as president of the Detroit chapter for the NBA Retired Players Association. Norwood passed away October 24th. Johnny Egan, only 5'11", 17 overall pick in the 61 draft out of Providence, 11-year playing career, a journeyman on 6 different teams, best notable for his time with the 69 Lakers, averaged 8.5 points, upped his production that postseason to 14 points a game, finished off his career with the Rockets in 72, coached in Houston from 73 to 76, 712 career games. After his basketball career, founded and operated an insurance business, remaining in Houston. An amazing athlete for his time, had great hops, good shooter and driver to the basket, died after suffering a head injury in a fall July 21st. He was 83. Louis Orr, 8 seasons in the NBA between 81 to 88, first 2 with Indiana and then with New York, 29 overall pick out of Syracuse at 6'8", career numbers of 9.7 points, 3.7 rebounds, played with Bernard King in the early 80s, then with Patrick Ewing to finish off his career, most remembered for his game winner versus Boston January of 87, got his first assistant coaching gig with Xavier in 1990, multiple colleges, first head coaching job with Siena, then Seton Hall from 01 to 06, then Bowling Green 2007 to 2014. Hired as Georgetown's assistant starting in 2017 when Patrick Ewing was named head coach, or passed away December 15 after battling pancreatic cancer. He was 64. Paul Silas, one of the most beloved figures, cherished by everybody close to him, the former 6'7" power forward and former head coach, known for being one of the best rebounders in the game, averaged 9.4 points, 9.9 boards, a 16-year career, 1,254 total games, the 2-time All-Star, won 3 titles, 2 with Boston 74 and 76, 5 total defensive teams including 2 defensive firsts in 75 and 76, one of the best defenders in his era, also won a title with the 79 Sonics, his second to last season, terrific team player, relentless, started his coaching career right after retirement from 1980 to 83 with the San Diego Clippers, then as an assistant with the Nets, Knicks, Suns, Hornets, then head coach of Charlotte, arguably the best coach that franchise ever had until 2003 when the franchise moved to New Orleans, then hired by the Cavs who selected number 1 pick LeBron James. James, his very first NBA career coach, decision to hire Silas due to his toughness and leadership in guiding James's NBA beginnings despite no postseason in 04, started 21 and 12 the first 2 months of next season, but then owner Dan Gilbert brought the team in January of 05, fired Silas with 18 games left that season. Silas' last coaching stint for Michael Jordan's Hornets in 2011 and 2012, also the father of current Rockets head coach Stephen Silas. Paul died of cardiac arrest in Denver, North Carolina. He was 79. Joe Roberts, the 6'6" forward out of Ohio State, played 3 seasons in the NBA, one with the ABA, being the 21st overall pick in the 1960 draft, won a title as an assistant for the 75 Warriors, married for 65 years until his death, had cancer, passed away October 10th at his home in Oakland, California. He was 86. Togo Palazzi, the 6'4" small forward, 5th pick in the 54 draft, 6 seasons from 55 to 60, averaged 7.4 points, coached his alma mater Holy Cross as an assistant for the men's team, also the head coach of the women's team from 80 to 85, a prominent fixture at basketball camps in Massachusetts, passed away August 12th in Union City, New Jersey. He was 90. Bill Russell, the winningest champion out of the 4 major American professional team sports, 11 titles in 13 seasons, an icon, civil rights activist, overcame racial abuse during his playing days. Russell's impact and leadership on and off the court will never be duplicated, truly one of the all-time greats, has the finals MVP named after him, a 5-time league MVP himself, second most rebounds ever, 10-0 all-time in Game 7s, 11-time All-NBA, as competitive as any player there was, always stood for what he believed was right, also a player coach for 3 seasons in Boston after Red Auerbach stepped down, coached the Sonics and Kings as well, made everybody around him better. After his passing, the league announced that his number 6 jersey would be retired, joining Jackie Robinson and Wayne Gretzky in the honors amongst the 4 major American sports leagues. A 2010 recipient for the Presidential Medal of Freedom, also received the NBA Lifetime Achievement Award in 2017, redefined the game defensively. After his retirement as a player, Russell moved to Los Angeles and hardly ever returned to Boston, spent the last 4 decades living in Mercer Island, Washington. His impact to the league is powerful as anybody's, has all the winning qualities, his signature laugh. Russell's incredible basketball legacy lives on. The legend passed peacefully July 31st. He was 88. From the ABA, Al Smith, 5 seasons from 72 to 76, served in the Army, joined Vietnam, had knee injuries which ended his career, a tragic ending to his life after shooting his girlfriend in a domestic conflict in his apartment in Florida, ended up shooting himself. December 19, he was 75. Sam Smith, 4 seasons with the ABA, averaged 8 and 7 after winning a title with the Utah Stars, got a job as a security supervisor at the Ford Assembly plant in Indianapolis, called the Dropping Dimes Foundation, which supposedly helped struggling ABA players, didn't have money to go to his 50th anniversary reunion for his college title team, hoping for a $2,000 a month pension he was owed by the NBA for his 5-year ABA service. After dealing with more family tragedy, the NBA pension never came. A chilling photo of Smith lying in the hospital bed next to an ABA basketball for the player who didn't find a long-term spot in the NBA after the merger. Salary shut off, health insurance gone, no pensions, despite the NBA itself having a pension plan since 1965. But without 3 years of NBA service, after the ABA no longer existed, those players left without those pensions. Smith passed away at 78. Another player on the pension list, George Thompson, 5 seasons in the ABA, 1 with the NBA's Bucks, 3-time All-Star, averaged over 18 for his career, holds the record for most free throw attempted in a single ABA game with 30, died June 8 from diabetes. He was 74. Cyrus Mann never played in the NBA. After being drafted in 75 out of Illinois State, the 6'10 center took his talents to the Philippines, passed away October 12 in Michigan due to COVID complications. He was 66. Former coaches Bill Fitch, Charles Wolf, Pete Carrill, Lee Rose, Dick Versace, and Mike Schuler. Referees Hugh Evans and Tony Brown. Mark Morgantian, former Executive of the Year for the Denver Nuggets 2009.